Wyoming inmates may be finding a new home at the Scottsbluff County Detention Center after the county board signs off on the move during last night's commissioner meeting. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, Scottsbluff County would be able to house inmates from Wyoming under an agreement approved Monday night by the county commissioners. Under the 3-year agreement, the county would be paid for any detainees housed at the county detention center, even on the heels of a jail expansion that relieved overcrowding at the Gering facility. Commission Chair Mark Masterton says county officials have always looked at the detention center as a regional facility that could handle inmates from other jurisdictions.
In other words, immigration, the state of Nebraska, state of Wyoming, the federal government, other counties, sometimes cities in other jurisdictions, and I would expect us to be able to handle that on a regional basis.
Masterton says if officials find that the facility is once again reaching capacity, the county does have the land available for another expansion. The agreement with Wyoming would include an option for additional 3 years. Well, a 70-year-old Lodgepole woman has died following a Sunday night trailer fire in Cheyenne County. County Coroner Paul Schaub says Sandra Reichman died from heat and smoke inhalation. He says the fire was reported around midnight, and after the blaze was extinguished, her body was found by first responders. The Nebraska State Fire Marshal's office says that the origin of the fire was a space heater in the living room and was determined to be accidental in nature. And 2 men are being held in the Kimball County Jail after troopers caught them with 50 pounds of marijuana in their vehicle Sunday afternoon. 34-year-old Jasmine Watson of Kansas City, Kansas, and 31-year-old Marzette Davis of Sacramento, California, were arrested for possession with intent to deliver and possession of marijuana more than 1 pound. Troopers say the marijuana was in heat-sealed bags and concealed in luggage in the rear of their vehicle. Well, straight ahead, a gorgeous mid-December day across the valley, but will those mild temps last? Bill Boyer will be in with your full weather forecast right after this.
At Platte Valley Bank, we know when you need a loan, time is of the essence. We are locally owned with decisions made right here at the bank. Our lenders are experienced, efficient individuals who are committed to our customers. Our flexible lending policies make it possible to fulfill loan requests, big or small, quickly. Whether you want to purchase a car, home, or even start a business, our committed associates are here to help. Stop into any location today and see what Platte Valley Bank can do for you.
No matter what job I've got to do, my John Deere 5E tractor can do it all. Whether I'm cutting, moving feed, or building a fence. Using my 5E means my work gets done faster at a price I can afford, and that works for me.
Visit 21st Century Equipment in Alliance, Torrington, Scottsbluff, and Bridgeport, or visit 21stcenturyequipment.com.
Pool together all your money with a friend and invest in 2 Arby's French Dip and Swiss sandwiches for just $6. It's the perfect get-rich-quick on sandwiches scenario. Arby's, we have the meats.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the Arby's Weather Center. Arby's, we have the meats.
Well, we're dealing with another night of clear skies, but unfortunately the winds are coming up. They already came up this afternoon. They'll stay up this evening, die off a little bit before picking back up tomorrow morning. We're going to have breezy conditions early, and then it's turning out to an all-out windstorm as we go through tomorrow. High wind warnings are out for a large portion of the region. We do expect windy conditions tomorrow and Friday. It'll be cooler, I think, by the weekend, and then some post-Christmas snow seems to be on the way. And look at yesterday, 57 beautiful degrees out there. 16 was the low. That's about normal, but almost 20 degrees above normal for a high. Nothing in the rain gauge yesterday as well. Hopping on the bus tomorrow. It'll be breezy, I think, when you get on the bus in the morning at about 39. We'll have a few more peaks of sun when you head home tomorrow afternoon. And it's going to be warmer, near 50. but we're going to be dealing with quite a bit of wind out there. Certainly more than what we have here this evening. 42 in Lincoln, 34 in Norfolk right now. It's 45 in Salina, 33 over in Laramie. Out here in the Panhandle in eastern Wyoming, we're mostly in the upper 30s and mid 40s for most everybody. 44 Alliance, Bridgeport. That's keeping wind chills in check because temperatures are mild, but certainly it's not the wind that's keeping the wind chills in check. Take a look at some of these wind gusts. 26 miles an hour in Wheatland right now, 24 in Cheyenne, over 15 miles an hour out into eastern Wyoming, and 10 to 15 miles an hour here in our area. And again, we do have wind chills that are in the 30s. Thankfully, it's not any colder out than what it is because, boy, the winds are certainly there this evening, and they're going to be there tomorrow. High wind warnings have been expanded now into northeastern Colorado, up through Sydney and the Scottsbluff area towards Torrington, Wheatland, this entire area that was under that high wind watch when we visited last night, now under a high wind warning, and it starts at midnight tonight and goes through the day tomorrow through about 6 o'clock tomorrow night, although the strongest winds probably going to be in the afternoon hours tomorrow when they start to die down. So the wind forecast for Scottsbluff, we expect by 7 in the morning or so to be in that 10 to 15 mile an hour range, over 20 miles an hour by 11 and closing in on 30 miles an hour. These are sustained winds tomorrow afternoon by about 3 in the afternoon. So the windiest part of the day probably going to be between 11 and about 5. And then after sunset, things should start to die off. But we're going to be dealing with a lot of wind out there. And it's coming this evening. Here's the wind. As you can see it coming off the high country through the early overnight hours. We'll have a picking up of winds, briefly lessening up a bit as we get towards sunrise tomorrow, only to re-intensify again after sunrise. Lows tonight are going to be in the 30s here across the region, and right here in our area as well. Albin at 36, 38 in Torrington, Alliance at 33. Now tomorrow, here come the strongest core of winds. These are going to be 50 to 60, maybe 75, 80 mile an hour winds at times here in eastern Wyoming. They're going to push out into our area. Strongest winds, here we go tomorrow afternoon by 2 o'clock or so. Take a look at these northwesterly winds howling across the area. They will lessen and die out a little bit, but it's going to take a while. By tomorrow night, still going to be dealing with strong northwesterly winds, and then by midnight or so, after midnight, we start to lessen the winds up considerably. But until then, we are dealing with a lot of wind out there. Winds maybe 55, 60 mile an hour gusts, especially in those high wind warning areas. We're going to be in the 40s tomorrow for highs, so we're going to back off from the 50s that we've had the last couple of days into the 40s, but it's going to feel even cooler than that. So we'll start clear. We're going to have increasing clouds and winds as we get towards morning. 38 your low tonight. Winds will be early and then late tonight. High wind warning tomorrow all day long. Northwest winds 25, 35. Gusts over 55, maybe 65 to 70 mile an hour gusts in some areas, especially in the high country. 49 your high. And then as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we have windy conditions returning again on Friday, although not as windy as today and tomorrow will be. And then maybe a few flurries Saturday will dry out. I think Sunday, Monday, and Christmas Day right now we're calling for a high of about 50, but some late day snow showers. And then Wednesday and Thursday of next week, we could be dealing with some accumulating snows. But until then, we're going to be dealing with some pretty nice travel weather, except for some winds that we're going to have to dodge here as we go through the end of this week.
You never know when you'll need an extra French dip in Swiss. It could get lost in the car or eaten by a confused stranger. Stuff happens to sandwiches. That's why Arby's made you 2 French dip and Swiss sandwiches for just $6. For only $6, you'll always have a spare French dip and Swiss until you eat it. You'll never have to be afraid. Arby's, we have the meats.
Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes high-performance lubricants and fuel improvers. We've been helping customers improve their operations for over 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and cut out the middleman and offer excellent service and value. Our products last longer and work better so that you spend less time maintaining equipment and more time making money. Whether you're in a factory, farm, fleet, or food processing facility, Hydrotex can help you. Visit hydrotexoil.com or call 308-635-8162. Buyers Realty has been helping people in the community find their dream home since 1994. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, our friendly staff will put in the work to help you reach the finish line. We also do property management for buildings in Scottsbluff, Gering, and beyond. You can find an extensive list of our properties by visiting our website at callbuyersrealty.com. Or you can visit our Scottsbluff offices on Avenue B, right next to Bumper. Panhandle's best, Buyers Realty. Community strong, community proud. We have what you're looking for.
The leaves are turning and the temperatures are cooling, so it's time to come harvest the deals at the Viera Wireless Fall Savings Sale. Right now, get your family high-speed, truly unlimited mobile data for just $35 per line with 4 lines. Prices have never been lower for unlimited data. Plus, trade in your current phone and get up to $500 off the latest iPhone and Samsung models. Those are incredible savings on the most popular and advanced smartphones. Don't miss out on our Fall Savings Sale. Hurry into Viera today.
Welcome back. Scottsbluff Police say a fire at a building in Scottsbluff early Sunday morning appears to have been an arson. Sergeant Lance Kite says investigators are conducting interviews of people who were near the scene at the time of the incident. The fire broke out in a building on Ferdinand Place, owned by Miller Bentley Limited Partnership, who are the local Arby's franchise owners. Fire officials say the damage was substantial, and anyone with information about this case is asked to call the Scottsbluff Police Dispatch at 632-7176 or Crime Stoppers at 632-STOP. Well, an Alliance man is behind bars after authorities were tipped about a possible grow operation out of a home on South Potash. In the home, Alliance Police and members from the Wing Drug Task Force seized more than 3.5 pounds of marijuana and items consistent with a marijuana grow operation. 49-year-old Russell Anders was arrested on charges of manufacturing of marijuana, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and possession of marijuana more than 1 pound. And Crawford fire officials say a grocery store was fortunate not to suffer serious damage from a fire Sunday evening. Crews were dispatched to DNS Market and determined that the fire was started by an electric heat lamp, causing nearby cardboard boxes to catch on fire. Chief Brian Prosser says the store was closed on Monday morning as employees cleaned up residue left behind from the blaze, and owners were able to reopen the market by midday. Well, straight ahead, Bella Guzman will be in with a check-in on Ag News. Don't touch that dial. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this.
Regional West is one of 3 Level 2 trauma centers in Nebraska.
We have all the resources here 24 hours a day to address any traumatic injury.
From emergency medical services to advanced medical imaging and surgery to acute care and rehabilitation.
It's comforting to know that if an accident happens here, our families, our friends, our neighbors, and even we ourselves will get expert trauma care and rehabilitation services right here at Regional West.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Western Hearing Clinic Ag Desk. Western Hearing Clinic, the Panhandle's choice for better hearing, helping you hear what matters most.
Christmas is only a few days away, and not only is Santa making appearances around the area, but his reindeer have also been spotted in the area. Brad Pierce, Murdoch's Ranch and Home Supply Store manager in Scottsbluff, explained how they brought in the reindeer.
We sell lassos, so we're able to lasso them down, so they're flying above. So we decided to bring them in. So we had some of our cowgirls and cowboys get them. They lassoed them up, brought them in. We couldn't get the red-nosed one, but we got them.
Pauline Brown and her husband Royce were taking care of the reindeer so any child could walk up and pet the animals or have pictures taken with them. Pauline told us more about the reindeer.
This is Donner. He's 9 months old. He's in training. This is his first year out. The other one is April. She's 8 years old. She's full grown, and it's the only deer species that both the species carry the antlers.
The reindeer were very popular with the kids, and Pauline said the children always ask if the reindeer can fly and where Rudolph is. She told us more about the reindeer.
They're picky eaters. They like dairy quality alfalfa, and we do a special grain mix for them, and otherwise they're out in the pasture during the summer with the grass. But down here's a little warm for them, so we have an air-conditioned barn for them in the summertime. They have 2 layers of hair. The outside layer is hollow so they don't get too wet, and then the inside really keeps them warm. That's why they can stand the really cold weather. And their hooves are pretty big. That way they can paw through the snow to get to the grass. They can also paw, like he's doing here, to get the best of the alfalfa. And that way they can walk on the snow and ice and not sink.
The reindeer were at Murdoch's for 5 hours before they had to get back to the North Pole. In Scottsbluff for KNEB.TV News, I'm Chabela Guzman, wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Think a utility vehicle should do more than take you places? So does Kubota. That's why our all-new Sidekick is built to do it all. Climb more, tow more, go more. Cross over to more today. Take your Kubota Sidekick home with no money down and 0% financing for 36 months.
Your local Kubota dealer is Sandberg Implement in Gering.
It's a friendly town, that's for sure. Not too big, not too small. Seems like everybody knows your name.
We stick together through thick and thin. That's the way it's always been. 'Cause where we live is still our claim to fame. We love this town, this grand old town. There's not another town like this around. We've got it all right here in our own backyard. We love this town. We love this town. We love this town.
Well, let's take a look what's happening on today's community calendar. That's a look at today's community calendar, brought to you by First State Bank, honoring those who give back. Nominate your community champion at fsbcentral.com.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scottsbluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
The growth and prosperity of our community is dependent on the reinvestment of local dollars into our local economy. When you open a high-interest savings account at Platte Valley Bank, we turn around and loan your money back to our community for new construction, business expansion, home loans, in backing agriculture, and much more. Come save with us at Platte Valley Bank and know that you are doing business with a local bank with local decisions that reinvests your money here in our community.
And finally tonight, 2 proposed redevelopment projects given the green light by the Scottsbluff City Council Monday evening, following public hearing on an expansion of High Plains Budweiser and the Auto Spa Car Wash. Council members unanimously voted in favor of both projects. TIF financing would be used for both. High Plains Budweiser would use it to relocate a drain line that is under the existing building, clearing the way for an expansion of the facility on Avenue M. The Auto Spa would use TIF funding to help with infrastructure improvements and service tie-ins at the site at the southwest corner of Avenue I and 27th Street. The council also settled on January 7th as the date to hold a strategy session on the direction of future city spending. That session will take place before the start of the first regular meeting of the year. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you here next time.